ditch is empty.
Let me clarify something first. When I say bad, I'm not saying it's going to be terrible. What I'm meaning by that is that it's going to be probably pretty poorly balanced. We've seen vehicles like this in the game, although to a lesser extent, where they're so hard to balance that there's really not a place in the game for them. But the only reason that they're in the game is because they're so popular, or they're so important that, well, I mean, the game would be incomplete without them. The mouse comes to mind here. It's not exactly similar to the A-10 because, well, one's a tank, one's a plane, but they're in a similar situation that they're pretty hard to balance. Put one too high of a battle rating, it's useless. Put it too low, and it's too effective. So while I am excited to have the A-10 in the game, what I'm not so excited about is this premise. The A-10 is a controversial vehicle both in real life and for the inclusion of War Thunder. It has ridiculously good armaments, but the flight model itself is not very good. Obviously the main feature of the A-10 is its 30mm gun, but that's not saying it's its most effective feature. The A-10 is also capable of holding Mavericks, which are available on the F4E Phantom, and those are far more effective at taking out tanks than the gun is. And we already know how good Mavericks are, so it'll probably have to be at a pretty high BR if it gets to keep its Mavericks. But there is a slight problem with that though. Putting the A-10 at a higher battle rating means it's gonna fight higher battle rating SAMs. And SAMs are pretty much what make the A-10 useless over an actual battlefield. So it's either gonna be implemented with all of its loadouts, and it's gonna be either very good or very bad, or it's gonna have some of its loadout taken away and be somewhat good or somewhat bad. But that's just in ground RB. The A-10 in real life is capable of mounting the AIM-9L, which if added to the game would be the new best American air-to-air missile, which could be problematic if not for the fact that it was on the A-10. Either way, I don't think the A-10 will be good for air RB. It's just too slow, despite all of its armaments. So all this leads me to believe that Gaijin might have been working on something that the community has been proposing for a while now. Separate BRs for different modes, like putting a vehicle at a different BR from ground RB to air RB. None of this is confirmed though, so we'll just have to wait till release to see what actually happens. It might be balanced, it might be not, we'll just have to wait and see.